bigger profits. Right now, you can save 20% off Truck Stop Load Board Pro for 6 months. The best tool for serious carriers. Don't miss out. Click the link in the description to get 20% off Load Board Pro for 6 months. Need capital to grow your business or cover unexpected expenses? Rock Financial has your back. Whether you're looking for a flexible line of credit, a fast cash advance, or tailored working capital solutions, Rock Financial makes it simple to get funded, often in as little as 24 hours. No hidden fees, an easy application, and real support from people who know the business. Ready to take your hustle to the next level? Tap the link in the description to get started with Rock Financial today. Wish insurance was this easy? With Log Rock, it's like magic. Real coverage appears when you need it. No tricks. Get covered now. Click the link in the description.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. What does it say? Let me see. Sound effects are playing, which could result in an echo. Turn on echo cancellation. How's everybody doing? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Turn on all post notifications. Shout out to It's D Walk in the building. Shout out to Rich in Chicago. All the MGM gang members. Shout out to all the moderators. Shout out to everybody that's part of MGM gang. MGM gang, biggest gang in the box truck community. Biggest community in the box truck community. Community. I didn't say biggest influence. I didn't say biggest channel. I said biggest community. Because by the numbers, we do have the biggest community. By the numbers, we have the biggest community. And when I say community, the actual community. So shout out to all the MGM members. Shout out to the moderators. Shout out to, who else we got? Shout out to Kelvin. Kelvin, where you been at? Kelvin always got to let us know he from Henry Horner. Kelvin, these young bucks don't know what Henry Horner is. That's just like me telling people I'm from Rockwell. They don't know. The buildings was tore down before they was even born. They don't know nothing about them buildings, Kelvin. Kelvin, we know you from the Horner. Kevin. We know this, all right? All right. These guys, they don't know that. They weren't even around when them buildings was up. You say praying for Texas. Flood is atrocious. I heard something going on down in Texas. My girl was telling me something about Texas last night. Texas flooding. She was talking to me. I was half asleep. I was listening to it, but wasn't listening to it. Hold on. Texas flooding. Update. Statewide death toll now at 78. What part of Texas is flooding? At least 80 dead and catastrophic Texas flood. It's governor. It's rain. What part of Texas? It's not the main cities like Dallas or Houston. What part of Texas is flooding? Texas floods. Yeah, I heard something about that last night. Hope you all right, man. I know you in Houston, right? Hope you all right down there. Shout out to police. What's going on? Link pinned to the top of the chat. This is the call-in show. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to Pippi. Shout out to all the moderators in the building. Shout out to I Get Paid to Wait. I already hit the like button. Okay. Shout out to T Beezy. What's going on? Thomas Fowler. Shout out to 608. You said praying for Hill Country, Kerrville, and other counties affected by the flood in Texas. Yes, let's make sure everybody that's down in Texas, hopefully you're not in the part of the areas that's flooding. And if you are, hope you guys get out safe. My prayers are with you. Hope it doesn't affect you too bad. Shout out to Ro. What's going on? Shout out to Eric. What's up? Shout out to everybody watching on Facebook. Shout out to people. Is anybody watching on Twitch? I'm trying to build that little Twitch. Twitch is for young people. Young people streaming and shit like that. We're gonna try to build it though. We're gonna try. So, but shout out to the people watching on Facebook though. There's a few people watching on Facebook. Come on there, make sure you guys hit the like button over there on Facebook and subscribe to the Facebook page. Who else we got? 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 But at least you say you from Cary? You down there in that flood? You straight? You straight down there? You straight? Shout out to James representing the crib. Shout out to Talk with Walt. What's going on? All right, man. It's the call-in show. Link is pinned to the. Is the link pinned to the top of the chat? Let's make sure it's pinned to the top of the chat. Let me make sure because it's been a few weeks since we did a call-in show. Yep, it's pinned. Link pinned to the top of the chat. Come on in. I know I'm a little bit early than normal on these call-in shows. Normally I go like 7 o'clock, but I ain't gonna lie. I ain't had nothing going on. NASCAR got all the streets blocked off, so I said I'm gonna get it in early and get it out the way. I wasn't gonna wait till 7 o'clock. I said let me get it. If I can start early and be done by 7:30, 8 o'clock, that'll be cool. So we're gonna get it in, get it out the way early. No sense of waiting till 7 o'clock. I think the race is over with too. So hopefully they open the streets back up. You said, hey big bro, time to get a crying baby sound. LOL, these YNs be in their feelings, man. Man, you know what, man? I thought about that, bro. Like after that live stream with Dave and Buddy S, I'm just when it come to that type of shit, bro, I just know they lost. They lost. They ignorant. I'm just not going to engage with them no more. You know what I'm saying? I ain't. I'm not going. Like I'll crack a few jokes. From here and there. But like, man, you know why people do that? Because they be miserable. They miserable, bro. And they not misery love company, bro. You know, misery love company, bro. So I'm not finna sit up here unless I'm bored and it's fun. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm not going to if it's not worth it. Like, I'm not finna be doing that every time engaging with these cats because they miserable out here in these streets, bro. I'm straight. They gotta do something to figure something out. I don't know. But I'm not finna sit here and be going back and forth with them, bro. Every now and again, yeah, but nah, bro. These guys gotta find them something else to go do. You know what I'm saying? You said no, you from Florida. Okay. Yeah, so all right. I'm glad you're doing okay. My heart goes to the people in River North. Hated that BS went down. Yeah, that was Thursday night, right? I think that was the night. No, it wasn't. That was Thursday night. Wait, hold on. I think that was Thursday night. Yeah, the 18 people, 4 people got killed. That was Thursday, and then Friday, 81 people got shot. So it was 81 people shot just Friday alone, and then which was Friday was the 4th. So it was 81 people shot Friday alone, and then you had that mass demonstration the night before. Yeah, that was the 3rd. Yeah, 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 yeah. But them, man, them YNs, man, they just do YN things, bro. Uh, I don't go to clubs no more. Like them types of clubs, I'm too old for that. I don't go to them types of clubs. And I was telling my girl, and I was talking to my homies, like when we do go something like a birthday party or something, we gotta like show up and show our face. Like standing in line, I don't stand in line. You stand in line, you can get hit in some shit like that. I'm paying to jump the line. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not finna get caught standing in line. I'm gonna pay to jump the line. If I'm going, I know I'm gonna park in the front. I'm gonna pay. If it's 100 to jump the line, then that's the 150 to jump the line because you stand in line to get into a club here or a bar, whatever, and that shit happen, you ain't know where you gonna go. So that's why we jumped the line anyway, and then you never close a spot down. You know what I'm saying? Here, meaning if the club let out at the club closed at 2, They start kicking everybody out at 1:30. You don't get caught when the lights start coming on. All you middle Americans, you pay attention if you take a trip to Chicago and you want to go to nightclub. Don't get caught when the lights coming on. Don't close the club down. So if the club closed at 2, by 1:30, they gonna cut the lights on, start kicking everybody out. They licenses for 2. That means they can't close at 2. That means they gotta have the place cleared by 2. So at 1:30, 1:25, lights come on, music goes off, everybody get out. You don't want to be there during that time. So a club closes at 2, 1:30 the lights come on. You need to be gone by 1. By 1, you need to be gone. We don't close no spots down. That's another way you get caught. See, that shit that happened that Kevin talking about, it was on the let out. It was on the let out. So you leave, you don't conjugate, you get to your car. Now, if you someone who knows the streets and you one of them guys, meaning you a person like, people that are after, or you have something that people want, maybe a nice car, you might have your Rolex on, shit like that, then you make sure you valet up front. You don't valet where, you give the valet your key and you let them take your shit around the corner, some parking garage. No, you say, leave my shit in the front. I keep my key. No, amigo, no. Leave my shit right here. How much it costs to leave my shit right here? I'm keeping my key. Whatever it costs, and that's what you got to pay. So that when you come out, your shit right there, you getting your shit, you going about your business. Ain't no conjugating. So, you can't get caught lacking, waiting in line. I'm not waiting in line to get in nobody's club, especially here. Whatever it costs to jump the line, and that's what it is. If ain't no jump the line, then we going somewhere else. Period. If you waiting in line, to me, you's a goofy. Don't be there on the real. Because unfortunately, it's not safe to wait in line. It's not safe to conjugate after the let out. You dig what I'm saying? So, unfortunately, that's the type of shit that happened. So you got to know how to move, Kelvin. Well, you know how to move. You from the crib. Even though you relocated to Texas, you should know how to move. Nah, it ain't no 500, but you might pay 100 to jump the line, 150, something like that. But that 150 to jump the line, um, it's a good investment, because something like what happened the other day could play out, and then if you're around, to recount how you could have approached it, what I'm saying, you would wish you would have, just dropped that extra money. Clubbing is not cheap. The more unsafe it is, the more expensive it becomes. So if it's an unsafe situation, then you have to spend more money to make sure that you're safe. That's just the unfortunate situation. That's just how it is. I'm not waiting in no line. I haven't waited in a line at a bar or a club, and it's so long I can't remember, bro. So, um, you said I know, man. I order my food on the phone every time if I'm around Madison and Cicero, right? So saying, yeah. So, right, you don't go in the fast food joint, order your food, and then stand there and wait like a goofy. You call it in, so that way it can be ready when you get there. You go in and get it, or you go in, you order it, then you go sit in your car, and then you wait in your car, then you go back in and get it. You don't get caught in the fast food joint, just because sitting ducks get plucked. You out in the open. You don't know who's in there that people may be after. It's always the people, the innocent people, right? You might be in there. It might be somebody in there that's other people are after, and when they come in there, this is not the '90s no more. It's not the '90s no more. So people ain't just walking up to their intended target. They like you saw the other day, they just gonna open fire on what's ever out there. It don't matter. Whoever, whatever, it don't matter. So you have to pick and choose your venues wisely. And if you must, then you have to know how to, you know, approach these situations. If you can't afford to be safe, then you shouldn't be there. And that's just the bottom line. There's no other way around. Well, man, we want to have a good time. Well, unfortunately, this generation, this era, y'all, the good times that we used to have, we can go to a spot, not have to worry about this, that y'all generation and your peers in your generation won't allow you. The good people who want to have a good time and enjoy their 20s and shit like that in their early 30s, your peers won't allow you to have those good times and create those memories. So it's an unfortunate thing, but it is what it is. All right, man. It's the call-in show. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. Calvin brought up that I knew somebody was gonna bring that up from the other day. I know it made national news, but I mean that situation. I mean, if you follow our local news, we like that happens a lot here. That's not an isolated situation. The very next day, 81 people got shot. The next day, that shooting was 11 o'clock that night. Then the next day, 81 people got shot. It's not like that just made the news because I think it was for her. She has a little notoriety. She's connected to G Herbo, and it just made a good news piece. So that's why I think it made the rounds on national news. Other than that, I don't see the national news talking about the 81 people that got shot the very next day. So, which is way more, 18 and 81. That number is a huge difference. So, all right, call in show link is pinned to the top of the chat. Uh, said parking lot pimping been dead for sure. Yeah, I haven't parking lot pimped in I think maybe 2015, maybe. Yeah, somewhere around there, maybe about 10 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't parking lot pimp no more. You gotta get in your shit and get gone. Like you can't do that shit no more. If you go somewhere, you do what you go to do. When it's time to leave, you get in your shit and you leave. Period. All that circling the parking lot, circling the block. Them days is over with. Them days been over with for a little minute now. Not for me particular, but just as far as from a safety perspective. It's just you can't have that type of fun and that you can't do that no more. It's over with. Well, at least here it's over with. I don't know about anywhere else, but not at all. I hear it all the time. All right, call and show link pinned to the top of the chat. Said Twitch is more gamer esque. Yeah, I see. But you know what? Not anymore. I was watching a creator over there say that if GTA 6 doesn't save it for the gamers, it's dead. It's pretty much IRL and just chatting. I think that kind of evolved away from video games. A large gamer content creator was saying that the other day, like Kai Cenat, DDG, all those guys, they don't play video games. That is the new, hierarchy as far as what people go, as far as content, what people are looking for over there on that platform. Those video game guys, they're complaining. They're saying that their views are down as far as playing like Fortnite and Minecraft and shit like that. And they said when GTA 6 comes out, if GTA 6 doesn't bring back that uh, viewership, then that niche as far as content creation, as far as high viewership, is over with. I think now that you got a lot of money into streaming over there, as far as ad dollars, right? The big advertisers that come in. Um, you have more scripted content. A lot of the stuff that goes over there now is planned out. Scripted is good content, like your streaming university. Um, I think some of the beefs over there are manufactured, for views. DDG and what's the other kid's name? A lot of that stuff is thought out. So, that's the new landscape. That is the new television. So the way we used to consume media for entertainment purposes back in the day, as far as watching television, it has, transitioned into content creation, which has transitioned into that niche of IRL and that just chatting, similar to what I'm doing now while I'm waiting for somebody to call up. And that's what the younger generation would much rather watch. So that's where the ad dollars is going. Um, and it's taken away from the video game sector over there. So everything evolves, man. You gotta change with the times, or you're gonna get left behind. Sort of kind of what we were talking about. I was talking about with Kirk, and then me and Antra Mike had a conversation not too long ago because we see the transition in this space, the niche as far as box trucking. I think we're at that point now where not you have people coming in, but it's not like what it was. So we saw it continue to go down over the course of since I've been, creating content. We've seen it go down over the course of the past 3 years, and this is probably the lowest we've seen it because everybody's like, man, what's going on? What's going on? I tell people I watch statistics. Viewership always goes down in the summertime because everybody is out. But out of the last 3 summers that I've been creating content, I can say this is probably the lowest I've seen it dip. Not to say it won't recover back in the fall. Um, in preparation for peak season, obviously over the winter when people are at home, but there's less people coming into the space, so there's a less need to acquire information. So I was talking to I think it was Mike because he does a lot of that. How to do this, how to do that, which garners a lot of views because a lot of the people who watch this type of content are newbies, and those those videos that how to start a box truck business or how to do this that normally do a lot of views ain't getting a lot of views no more. So it's just an indicator of and I don't do that type of content, but that's just an indicator on uh, the space is kind of leveled out. So the people that are here, and you have minimal people that are rushing to get in to the field now. One, I think it's because of money. Two, I think the word has gotten out there that this ain't as easy as a lot of people thought it would be. There's still some people obviously coming in, but there's so much content that is negative around trucking, and uh, just like you saw a boom of positivity centered around trucking when the money was really really good and it was too good to be true and people didn't realize that, and a retard could make money because the margins were just so high because of the um just the volume that was present at the time. It's done a complete 360. So now you see a plethora of just trucking in general. It's not box trucking in general. There's more negative content. Trucking is trash, trucking is this, trucking is that. And then you have content creators like what me and Kurt reviewed 2 weeks ago, who have never done trucking, that just do content based on trends that are highlighting the enormous amount of content that's being put out primarily on Instagram and TikTok, primarily TikTok, of how all these people are just saying trucking is trash and they're walking away from it. So now the people who may have been considering coming in, that same amount of influence that you saw in the opposite a few years ago, that influence is driving people away. So if that is an idea that a person thought about, they're now not thinking about that. They're crossing that off their list because they're seeing nothing but negative um, content on it, right? Um, and then people have come in, they've just explained how hard it is and shit like that. It's not a piece of cake as what they thought it was. So what goes up obviously is gonna come down. So that's where we're at right now. So in order to determine if it's completely leveled out, we can't really use the summertime because the summertime is always a dip. We have to wait to the fall because that's when viewership usually goes up. And if viewership doesn't go up in the fall, then we know then we're back in a sense of normalcy as it pertains to trucking content. So we'll see. We'll see around September, October, what happens. All right, link is pinned to the top of the chat. This is the call-in show. See if we can get 2 callers. I think I'm gonna take 2 callers today. And I'm gonna get out of here, man. Man, Kevin, on call-in show day, I can't read. It's the call-in show. You have to call in. You gotta call in, man. I'm not reading, I'm not answering no questions in the chat. This ain't the chat day. The Q&A day. This is the call-in show day, big dog. Call-in show day, Charlie. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. I hate that people can't have a good time without some BS. Can't have fun. Humble Park, Garfield Park, Dirty Fish, Jackson Park. It's unfortunate, but these are the times that we living in, so you gotta figure something else out, man. I don't get caught up in, uh, the way things used to be. I don't get caught up in that shit, bro. But it's not unfortunate for me. It's unfortunate for that generation. That's unfortunate for them. We did what we needed to do, so we wasn't running around causing terror in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So we wasn't making it uncomfortable for other people, to enjoy themselves. I drove past 'cause I had some people in town for the holiday, and we was driving past the Dan Ryan Woods on the 4th of July around about 3 o'clock. And normally the Dan Ryan Woods at 3 o'clock would be packed, right? People would be out there in the Forest Preserve early in the morning, claiming their spot, setting up their tents, shit like that, barbecuing, all that. They'd be out there early because they want to get a good spot. Man, that shit was empty. Ain't nobody finna go to the woods and set up a tent or have a family reunion there, because they don't know who else is going to come to the woods and set up a tent and have a barbecue there. So you could literally set up and have good intentions, but what if 4 of them come up and set up too? And all it take is one of them to go live and say, "Hey, we over here. We at the Dan Ryan Woods. Da da da. You know what I'm saying? We having us a fee. Da 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 da." And now you got them here, and then your tent over there, and you got kids and shit running around. You barbecuing your family and shit because one of them went live and dropped a low, and they know they got ops. They got ops with 3-4 different neighborhoods. Boom. That's all it took. Now they finna come through there and they just finna shoot everything in sight. So that's why it was empty. Ain't nobody gonna take no chances like that with their family, especially with their kids and shit running around out there. So yeah, back in the day, Dan Ryan Woods, I remember you drive past there on a holiday, especially 4th of July, Memorial Day, packed. The parking lot packed. You could literally just drive through there and parking lot pimp. That shit was empty as an empty bottle. It was empty. It was dead. Like that shit is over with. Them days is gone, Mr. Kelvin. Yeah, them days is over with. They said no lollygagging when you're in the street. Got to keep pushing. Absolutely, absolutely. Ain't no all that conjugating on this. That shit is over with, bro. You got to keep it moving, keep it pushing. So, yep. Yep. All right, call in show. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. Y'all done ran all the content creators away. Ain't nobody even making no content. Kirk ain't did no content. Ain't nobody doing no content no more. Y'all ran everybody away. Y'all ran everybody away. Let's see. Nope. They ain't did nothing in 2 weeks. Let's see. Doo doo. 2 weeks. Kirk ain't did nothing in a month. Man, people just ain't doing no content no more in this space. One. I'm watching this guy. Yeah. No, I didn't. I didn't expose anybody. Bro. I just think the space is just, like I said earlier, summertime is just, dies down, picks up. But I think we're just in a sense of normalcy, bro, when it comes to trucking content now. The popularity has died down. Not that many people are coming in, and a lot of people that do want to come in are getting, scared away by the content that says, trucking is this, or I quit trucking, and trucking is trash, and rates are this, and da 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 da. And, so if you're looking for information on a niche or a space or an industry, and you've been bombarded by a lot of and we're not even talking about information as far as information as far as educational. We're just speaking on people and their experiences, right? So when you're looking for information and you're bombarded by people that are doing content based on their real life experience, even though they may have been ignorant, and the reason why they failed is due to their ignorance, people consume that, and then they keep going and they go find something else. A lot of the people that are coming into the space are younger, so they're not consuming the information on YouTube. They're on TikTok, and there's just a plethora of content on TikTok as regards to trucking that is just uh, uh, I don't want to say it's negative. It's not negative. It's just people just saying that they failed and it's trash. So let's see. So a lot of people, I guess, the trend now is why I left trucking or why I quit trucking. That's the new trend. Why I left. So, um, all right, call and show. Link is pinned to the top of the chat, man. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. Mm-mm. Let's see here. What did I do last summer? Did I go to every once? I think last summer I went to once a month. Pippi, do you remember? Let me look at the frequency last year. I think last summer I went to once a month with the call-in show. Let's see. Let's see. Last summer we went to what was this? It's December. Let's go back. Let's see. What month was this? August. So August. August. Let me go back to 1 year ago. All right, so boom. Yeah, so we've spread it out further. 23rd. So 23rd. Yeah, so we pushed it out once a month. So that was June 25th. The 9th, that was 3 weeks. Push it another week. So every 3 weeks. All right. Yeah, so it was every 3 weeks. So yeah, we'll push it. We'll push it another week to once a month for the summer. All right, man. I'm gonna give it. What time is it, bro? 6:15. What is it? 6:43 minutes. So we'll give it to. We'll give it to a full hour. Don't nobody call in, then we'll wait. We'll give it another 2-3 weeks before we do it again. Other than that, everything else good. Yeah, we'll just push it every 3 weeks like we did last time. I just looked. It was every 3 weeks, so once a month until about September. Then it looked like we went back to every 2 weeks, September, October. So we'll push it. All right. All right, link pinned to the top of the chat. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. How do you get? This guy really blew his hand off, huh? That's crazy. I don't play with fireworks. That shit's stupid. Especially if you old. You old and you playing with fireworks and you getting excited about fireworks, man. You tweaking. Bro, ain't no old motherfucker should be around here playing and getting excited about fireworks, dude. All these videos I looked at, all these old people blowing their hands and fingers off and shit the other day. It's ridiculous, bro. Like, first of all, why do you light a firecracker in your hand and then try to throw it? What if the fuse burn real quick? That shit crazy to me. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why on God's green earth would you light a damn firecracker, an M80 or a stick of dynamite in your hand, and then try to throw it? What if the fuse? We've all done lit a firecracker. We've all done lit a firecracker at some point when we was a kid, and that fuse just went real quick. It happens. And that was with a firecracker. So you don't think it'll do it with a stick of dynamite or M80? There's no way on God's green earth I'm lighting anything that gonna go boom in my hand. Listen, I'm not lighting anything that gonna go boom in my hand. You can't rub no poom poom. You can't rub no soft little boo boo, no booty no more. You can't do nothing. Bro, this is crazy, bro. Somebody made a compilation of all the dumb shit from the other day. And every video that was in that compilation, it was somebody doing some stupid shit. Light that shit on the ground. Get you one of them long ass things. I forget where you light the grill. It's like a red thing and got that long silver stick thing, and you click it and then it light at the end. Get you one of them. So you can get you some distance from that and the stem, and you light it and you run. Don't use no regular lighter. That's too close, especially if it's like some dynamite and some M80s. Get you one of them long things. And you light that shit and you run. Don't light that shit in your hand and then try to be cool and throw it. That shit is stupid. You're going to blow your hand off. That shit is the dumbest shit in the world, bro. I'm not never light nothing that go boom and holding it in my hand. Your hand. You only get one hand, two hands. You only get them once. So you have to be, you gotta be cautious of that shit. I think a lot of people do that shit for impressing people out there, girls and shit like that, they homies, and that shit is not cool, bro. And light it at the same time. Yeah, holding a quarter stick of dynamite and trying to light it is just crazy. And then what's even crazier, outside the grown adults that I seen doing the dumb shit, was the videos where I seen people letting their kids or having their kids. I seen some chick, she lit something, told her kid to throw it, and he held on to it and ran in the house. Like, why would you let a kid hold an explosive in his hand and think he's gonna follow directions? And when you light it and you tell him to throw it, and he sees those sparks, he goes into a shock to the point where he doesn't even let the shit go. You're going to jail. You're going to, like, if you let one of your kid hold a firework and he blow his hand off, you're going to jail. You should go to jail. That's neglect. You should go sit your ass in jail. Go sit your ass in jail. All the compilations, somebody put a compilation together. It was about 10, 12 different situations from this weekend. And then you do the dumb shit while you streaming on live on Instagram. Like, why would you do some dumb shit like that? I don't understand that shit. I'm just looking at this shit, just shaking my head. Like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. It's stupid, bro. I just don't understand people. Social media was the worst thing. I can say it was good, but it was bad. But it's starting to be more bad than good with social media. because it just influences people to do some of the dumbest shit for clout. You want to go viral for blowing your hand off? Shit crazy. So now what happens when the virality dies down? Now you still ain't got no hand. The virality gone. Nobody's talking about you blowing your hand off no more. The virality is gone, and so is your hand. So now what? After you get your interviews or how you blew your fingers and your hand off, you make your little money, and then once that shit is dead and gone, your hand's still gonna be gone too. So was it like? Is it worth it to try to do things for clout? Because if that shit backfires on you, it's like I told people one of them live streams the other day. Like, if people stop trying to impress people, right? A lot of the dumb decisions they make, they wouldn't make them. The reason why people do dumb shit on live is because they trying to impress people. They trying to impress their peers, and they trying to press and show off to their subscriber base. They trying to get their subscribers up. Boom. Nobody gives a fuck, right? If some shit backfires on you, people gonna laugh at you and they're not gonna care. That's why I be telling people, like, bro, like, stop doing dumb shit to impress people because no one's gonna care. They're gonna laugh at you. Just like how we talking about this shit right now. I don't care because I'm not gonna do no dumb shit like that. It took me one time as a kid to light a firecracker the right way on the ground with a stem and light it and run. But I lit that motherfucker and that stem said, we just used to light the whole pack. We used to get a brick, get the whole go to Indiana, get fireworks, just get a brick of firecrackers. So forget lighting that one firecracker. We just open the brick and just light them pack at a time. So you got the stem. I remember one time I lit it and that stem just said, I said, oh no, I ain't never holding no gun. I never was a fan of holding Roman candles. I'm not no fan of holding no Roman candle. Oh, we're just gonna shoot in the air. Man, how you know? How you know? We don't know what's in there. We wasn't in China when this shit manufactured. What if they made a mistake and put some other type of gunpowder in this Roman candle by mistake? Nah, you put a Roman candle in a bottle. You put a Roman candle in a bottle. You put some bricks up against it so it don't tip over, and then you light it. Not holding no goddamn Roman candle. I'm gonna trust the people over in China that manufactured the Roman candle to think that this one Roman candle, I'm just gonna shake it. This could be the one where they accidentally measured it wrong or put the wrong shit in the shit, and then you light that motherfucker, and then that motherfucker blow up in your hand. Man, I never held her. No, put that shit in a goddamn bottle and treat it like a goddamn bottle rocket. So we got kids that lost their hands. We got grown people that lost their hands. And then I saw something where somebody blew half their face off. You can't make this shit up, bro. Been trucking from '08. Recently lost a good contract and had always been on independent contract. But 3 months ago, got my authority. 3 months ago, got my authority. I'm in talks with Wayfair. That's what's up, man. You said you right, but you gotta hold them Roman candles. Yeah, you can hold them, but what happened if the one Roman candle that you holding? Listen, those fireworks are man-made, right? Over in China somewhere, right? People make mistakes. Yeah, I ain't holding no Roman candle. I ain't holding nothing. Yeah, I don't even fuck around with fireworks no more. Yeah, but I ain't holding nothing. Ain't nothing in my hand. Everything gotta go in a bottle or on the ground. Life is about choices and decisions. You could be the cool person who put the Roman candle in the bottle, or you could be the person, or you could, or you could be the person who just so happened to get that one Roman candle that it was a malfunction for whatever reason. Too much powder. They put the wrong powder in there. They put the wrong explosives in there, and you thought you was gonna light it and shake it, and that shit was gonna shoot up in there. And that motherfucker, you lit it, and that motherfucker said, "Boom!" And you was like, "God damn, I thought this was a Roman candle." But your shit gonna look like this. This how the end of your hand, where your hand used to be, is gonna look like this now. You gonna be running around like that. And then you gonna be like, damn, I wish I would have put that Roman candle in a bottle. And then a lot of people let their kids hold Roman candles. Mm-mm. Especially the relationship we got right now with China. Oh no, you can't trust it, big dog. I ain't trusting nothing. Nothing with gunpowder coming from China. I'm not trusting nothing. Then I'm gonna put a Roman candle in a kid. I'm not putting nothing in no kid's hand that got gunpowder in it. Tweaking. Straight. You said they face. No, it was secondhand. They was just too close to it, I guess. Yeah, it's too close to it. Too close to it. I don't know. All right, it's the call-in show. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. Told you, ain't too many people coming in the box truck space no more, man. Y'all, they said it's trash, man. They said the gig space is dead. They said trucking is trash. They said gig is dead. What happened to the gig space? I don't see the giggers anymore. Where the giggers been at? They've been saying this garbage too. What happened? There's got to be some money out here somewhere now. Can't everything can't be bad. Cause I know people that's making a shit ton of money. I tell you where the money at, but don't nobody want to do it. Y'all talk about, man, I ain't finna do that. Well, then that's why you ain't gonna make no money. You gotta go where the money at, big dog. Work gonna be associated. That's the problem. Don't nobody want to work. The crazy thing is people don't realize that explosive powder that's in fireworks is also all around the outside of it. Yeah, uh, yeah, man, I don't know. I ain't messing with it. You said, man, they done gigged out. I think they gigged out. I think saturation supply has pushed the. I think supply oversupply. I think obviously we know demand is not what it used to be. Demand is low, and then you got a shit ton of people fighting. I still see the people sitting at Walmart. You know, I still see Amigo and them sitting at Walmart. Um, you know, a lot of migrants, they still sitting at Walmart waiting for them Walmart orders to drop. So it's a lot of competition now. You know, I remember um ordering like Uber Eats and DoorDash. I remember at one point, you know, was that 2019, maybe 2020? Where man, they'll send your order to somebody and then they'll cancel it and they'll send it to somebody else and then they'll cancel it. Now, man, I don't never get canceled and it's always me going there bringing the food. It ain't even Keisha no more. And then man pull up with your shit. It ain't even that. It's all Migo. Migo done took over. Migo done took over the food delivery. Migo and them. I'm speaking on migrant Migo. They done took over the food delivery and they done took over a lot of the gig shit, as far as like the Walmart shit, they done took all that shit over with. Yeah, they done took all that shit. So I guess maybe that's why a lot of people saying this the rates are bad because the supply is just so heavy now. Yeah, man. I just don't believe. I just can't. I just don't understand when I was telling people like you can't make a business out of that. Why they was so mad at me, and why what couldn't they see? Like, how can you make a business out of something and call yourself a business person, and then couldn't forecast that? How can you build a business out of something that you don't control? And when I say control, it's not guaranteed. You have to wait for them to say, "Bing, here goes the order. You want it or you don't want it." And if my shit don't go bing, then that means there's no work, no business. You have to wait. You can't go and bid. You can't go and lean on shit. You can't go and apply for a certain amount. You have to literally wait, and it's based off supply and demand. So how can you build a business out of it? So when people was going and buying all these cargo vans and all this shit, I'm like, bro, you can't build a business. They was getting mad at Big Mark, and I'm like, bro, how you a businessman and you think you can build a business off something that you have to wait for someone to send a bing to your phone? If they don't send a bing, then you ain't got no work. Now they complaining. I don't get it, bro. That shit crazy to me. That's why I just be sitting back and I just be laughing and shit. They'll never come back and be like, you was right. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. But they be too bitter. They be in their feelings and stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. The gig app controls it. They say, look, we got Susie over here. She stays at 123 Main. She just ordered her groceries. All right. We got all these people we can pick and choose. All right. Let's do the process of elimination. Cancel out all the people who ain't within 1 mile of the store in Susie. That knocks out a bunch of people right there. All right, boom. Who got a better rating? The people with the bad ratings and the least orders, the least reliability, the least dependability, least credibility, get rid of them. That knocked out a bunch of other people. All right, who's left? Who's the closest now? Oh, you got somebody actually at the store picking up something else already? Well, how far he going? Is he going in that direction? Because we got somebody else in the parking lot. All right, what's the timetable on this delivery from that delivery? Can we put it there? All right, you know what? Even though he's going in that direction, we want this customer to get their stuff within this time frame. Let's just give it to the buddy that's outside. Even though buddy already in the store and he going in that same direction, he got to actually damn near pass the place. We want it to look good to the customer that their turnaround time was good. So we'll send that dude that's outside just sitting in the parking lot, we'll send him in that same direction too. And then you wonder why, man, I'm here. Man, buddy come in. Man, did they just send you that order going towards Main Street? Yeah, I just got, man, why they didn't give me that order? Because they want that customer to get their shit in a timely fashion too. See, it ain't really about efficiency as far as routing with them. Why? Because it's not the cost. They're not consuming the cost. You are. What they're concerned about is turnaround time. If we give it to him, even though he's going in that direction, he still got to stop, which means he got to get out, get all the groceries for that stop, walk him up the porch, ring the doorbell. He might have to take 2 or 3 trips from the car and this and that. While that other person that's in the parking lot, he gonna drive right past him while he making that delivery, and he gonna get there before he get there. So to the customer, the turnaround time was fast. the efficiency of routing doesn't matter to them because they're not consuming the cost. You are. When I try to explain this to those people last year, they were mad at me, called me a hater. I said, "Man, it's business. From a business perspective, put yourself in the other person's shoes. If you were Walmart, if you were Target shipped or Walmart Spark or Amazon Flex, you trying to appease the customer, not you." See, a lot of those giggers, they thought that the platforms had to appease them. It's just like I always say, it's always going to be another you. Well, man, if we all band together, what are they going to do? The few of you that band together, they're going to say, "Pfft," and then it's a bunch of people that's waiting on a waiting list to get in that's going to do what you complaining about. If I was Walmart, Spark, or Amazon Flex, I'm going to meet the needs of the customer. I don't have to worry about route efficiency when there's a bunch of people waiting with their apps turned on that I can see, and I can just use them. I don't care if it's a straight line. I care about turnaround time. That's the difference between a person who understands business versus a person who has high hopes, that lives off of high hopes, and then when the shit don't work out that way, then they see what we seeing on TikTok now as far as complaining and shit. And then they wish they would have listened to the guy that told them, "Yo, do this, do this, do that." Nah, that ain't what you think it is, bro. I'm telling you, in a minute, this finna go like that. It's beneficial for the gig app to have an overabundance of supply. Turnaround time. And as time goes on, the turnaround time is going to get faster and faster and faster. And how do you do that? You have more people, right? You have you strategically place your facilities as far as your 3PLs, and then what the storage do now, what the retailers do now is they do it they do it in-store fulfillment. So they're using a portion of their store to fulfill. That's why Walmart a year or two ago, they revamped their stores, and they dedicated a certain amount of square footage to in-store fulfillment. Why? We'll just use our store locations to fulfill, and we'll be closer to the store. We'll utilize the gig apps to have the people to come pick the shit up from the store, and that way we can get the shit to the customer quicker. So now you got all these sad people that went out and spent 30, 40,000 on a damn van to be a gigger. Talking about, "Oh, I'm starting a business. I'm gonna drive for Walmart Spark." Okay. All right. Link pin to the top of the chat, man. Link pin to the top of the chat. Yeah, temperature dropped crazy, bro. It was just 85 degrees. Now it's 67. Oh. Yeah, I remember all those names. Debbie Downer, Nancy, Dream Crusher, all that shit. Yeah, I remember all those names they was calling me. It's crazy how everything just turned into fruition, though. Came into fruition, I mean. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's crazy, ain't it? It's crazy. Oh, Call in show. Everybody that's writing their questions, Angela, you got to call in. You got to call in. Call in show. We legally blind on call in show day. We legally blind. Um, says beyond not being guaranteed, in almost all cases, you can't even subcontract, and even if you can, the money's not worth it. Which it, I was on point. Yeah, it's not. It's not. It's just not. I just don't understand it, bro. But yet and still, you got people that I don't know. You said Millionaire McQueen got the. Oh, he's still doing content. I forgot about old Daniel. I think he working with his OG. His shit don't even pop up in my feed no more. Let's see what he got going on. I stopped chasing money and found my real purpose 3 weeks ago. He stopped chasing money and found his real purpose. Let's see. Do he give me credit in the video? I would react. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna do another video. I'll watch it on another live stream. I'm curious to see what he talking about. I'm gonna watch it 3 weeks ago though, huh? All right, link pin to the top of the chat. Call in show. Do do do. I don't answer questions unless you click the link. Said Wire just delivered your Walmart order today. Have to use Google Translate to talk to him. See, I don't like that shit. I don't like that. Last time I had, well, not last time. It was one day earlier this year, late last year. I had a food order, and the guy had to punch the code in, and I told him the code. He couldn't understand English. He handed me his phone. I had to punch it in. I'm like, man, I don't want to touch your phone. I don't know where your hands been. I don't want to know where your hands been. I had to touch his phone. I don't want to touch your phone, man. I don't know what you've been digging in, what you've been flicking and digging in while you've been driving. I don't want to touch your phone. The ones really winning their gigs aren't publishing it. So you saying the ones that's doing gig work that's really winning, they not doing content around it? That's true. That's the you know what? That's something that I never understood either, and I never talked about it. When you and you might say it's gatekeeping, but once you put stuff on a public platform and you got influence, it's gonna ruin it. It's gonna ruin it. It's gonna ruin it in a multitude of ways. One, you're gonna have a plethora of people come on, so it's gonna oversaturate it. Two, out of that plethora of people that come on that oversaturate it, you're gonna have some bad actors that's just gonna fuck up what may have been a good thing for the people when there was less people on there. It's gonna fuck it up for the good people. So they're gonna do dumb shit like steal shit and drop orders off and can't read, drop the orders off next door, uh, just a bunch of dumb shit. So then things get tighter. Then you see the shit starting to change and the rules get tougher and shit gets tighter. You gotta keep shit to yourself, right? In that type of situation, I can sit up here and talk about moving and final mile all day long because we know that majority of people, no matter how much I talk about it, won't do it. They'll come up on this platform and say, man, I'm not doing that because there's work associated with it. Even though it's a lot of money, we've proved the amount of money. I've showed the money that I've made. You've had people that have come up here that have, said, man, I listened to Mark. I transitioned over from this, from whatever, OTR, Amazon, whatever came in. I'm making this type of money. But only a certain type of person is going to do that work. It's a lot of work. It's grueling work, right? You're gonna make a lot of money. And when I say a lot of money, I'm not talking about what you may think is a lot of money. I'm talking about whatever you think is a lot of money, 3-4 times that. This weekend that we're in, from last weekend to now, is the second busiest week out of my career. From moving, that last week of June going into the 4th of July has always been the second biggest week for me throughout moving season. I'm talking about nonstop. So depending on how many trucks you have, depending on how much money you make, one truck, you could easily be making these past 2 weeks, and I'm talking about profit over $1,000 a day if you know what you're doing. And that's on a small scale. On a larger scale, multitude of trucks, you have a name, you have a premium price because you've been in the business a while, and you have your rate is at a premium rate. Way more, 10 times the amount. Mm-hmm. But it's not going to be easy. It's going to be grueling. It was 90, 100 degrees the past couple weeks. That don't mean nothing. You still got work. So you're doing that type of work in 100-degree weather. But you got that fighting against you. You got, a lot of the tedious lifting and packing and wrapping and maneuvering and frustration, and just, that's why you're getting paid that type of money. So a lot of people don't want to do that. So I can give this type of information away every single time. It doesn't really matter because it's not going to never get saturated because majority of people just ain't going to do it. So it is what it is. Me, I'm going to do what's the hardest. Whatever pays the most money, which is normally the hardest shit, that's what I want to do. Right, because I can do that for a shorter period of time and run up a bigger bag way quicker and go on about my business and go move on to something else. You know what I'm saying? And, what's taking a person a week to do, you can do that literally in a day in prime season. So why would I want to go a week? What I can do in a week, I can do in a day. What I can do in 2 weeks over here, I could do in 2 days. What's going to take me 3 weeks to make over here, I can make over here in 3 days. What's going to take me 4 weeks to make over here, I can make in 4 days over here. So, I don't know. It's just get out of it what you put into it. Whatever, everybody's different, but I'm not going to be, give me the hard shit. Pause. Give me the hard work that pays the most money. I'm not, I mean, this is like, not like, I don't understand. It's not rocket science. It's like the math is, and then the margins is totally different. Why? Because the customer's paying for everything. It's labor you profiting, materials you profiting, truck you profiting. There's no, like, the customer pays for everything. I don't get it. So the only thing I got to do is lift and sweat, and then lift again and sweat. All right, boom, no problem. It's a paid workout. You should be burning, depending on how busy you are, depending on how big you are, you easily burn 4,000-5,000 calories a day or more. So you should be in good shape. You should be in good shape. You dig what I'm saying? It's like a paid workout. I don't know. So you're being healthy. You're getting a good workout in, and you getting paid an exorbitant amount of money to do so. I don't get it, bro. It is what it is. A says, "How man, how's it going?" Link is pinned to the top of the chat, man. It's going pretty well, man. Mika says, "Great mindset." Appreciate that. Gotta have a good mindset when it come to getting to this bag, man. You gotta, cause that's the only way you gonna get to it. That's the only way you gonna get to it, bro. I know some people they ain't all for the bag. Man, I'm for the bag, man. I need the bag, man. I need the bag, man. And in order to get it, man, you gotta have the mindset to get it, man. You gotta uh be willing to go above and beyond, do what you need to do, but then you also have to be able to, you know, forecast and see what's coming. You can't get complacent because nothing lasts forever. I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day, older than me, at a like I said, I had some people in town, and then they had some people. We had this dinner um Thursday night, and I was talking to another business guy who owns some smoke shops. One of my homies' fathers owns some smoke shops, and we was just talking about business, and we was just just talking business. And I was telling him he was disagreeing with me. I don't really think he understands the nature of this business, and we was talking about because he said I've always been impressed with what you were able to do in trucking. And he was like, would you consider doing it again? I said, no, I can't do again what I did. And he was like, why? You got a great mind. If you did it once, you can do it twice. I said, it's not my mind. It has nothing to do with my mind. The times have changed. Business is about timing as well. The times have changed. What I was able to do then, I can't. The people would be my hardest thing. So could I do it? Absolutely. To the magnitude how I did it then, no, it would be a lot more difficult for me to get to that point in today's time, because the mindset of the individual that I have to employ doesn't resemble the mindset of the employee from that time period then. And he understood that because he has a hard time keeping people there. So when I explained it to him, he said, okay, I didn't look at it that way. It has nothing to do with me, of course. Yes, but it's an industry where you need people. So that's when people say, "Oh man, I'm gonna buy a bunch of trucks and then I'm gonna put drivers in them." The main issue you're gonna have with that is drivers. You have a whole subcategory on TikTok that's why I quit trucking. That's more popular than the information on how to be successful in trucking. The hashtag or whatever the hell they call it over there on how you search content as pertains to trucking, the trucking is trash, or why I quit trucking, and all the people who failed, those videos are more popular and more prevalent than the ones, whether they are misleading or not, that promote some type of information on how to be successful, whether they be credible or not credible. In order to scale a business, you need people. No, you have to be able to forecast. And when things are going good, like I tell people all the time, don't take that shit for granted. And we see people do it all the time. They think shit doing good, they take it for granted because they think it's going to be that way forever, and they don't never account for the rainy days. Me and Kurt was talking about some shit uh the other day. I'm not gonna go into details, but I got a big project coming up. Unforeseen, it's gonna cost me a lot of money, right? Same with him. It just so happened that we were talking, he got something similar, except that I'm gonna, since I gotta do that project, I'm just gonna go above and just knock out some other shit. So since I'm gonna do something, I might as well just do some other shit while I'm in the process of doing that. I'll just say that. But what's spearheading it is something that was unforeseen. Now, I could be the type of person that doesn't prepare for unforeseen situations and be in a situation where I'm like, well, what am I gonna do? No, it's just not how a responsible adult or business person operates, because you know that eventually something is going to arise and it's going to cost money, and there's no other alternative but to correct the issue, regardless of the fact of how big or how small it is. So, you know, so when I was telling people about that gig shit, only a fool didn't see this shit coming. It's the same way I was talked about peak season back in the day, the same way I talked about the trucking industry as far as box trucking, and where we at now. It's just what it is, man. You know, it's not negative. It's just being able to read the room so that when these things occur, you're in the right position to still be profitable and successful. You know, that's just what it is. So you said got an update for you, Mark. I'm about to call in a minute if you still on free bands, man. I ain't gonna be on too much longer. So if you gonna call, come on. Cause you dig, I've been on for an hour and ain't nobody called in, man. Cause y'all ain't got nothing to talk about. Ain't nobody really coming in the industry right now that got questions. Yeah, you dig. So if you gonna come on, come on. Free bands. Is this free bands from New Orleans? Oh, that's right. You did say you came to Chicago to pick up a truck, right? Would y'all do a solo venture? Solo venture in what? Everything I do is solo. I don't do partners, bro. I don't do nothing partners. I tried a partnership one time with the junk removal thing. No, never again. I would never do no partnership, bro. No. One, and it goes back to similar what I was talking about when I'm waiting for the buddy to come up. Because as soon as a person who sees a little smidget of success and a little taste of some money that they never made before, they they turn into a different person. And everything that I'm saying, they don't understand that. So now you got a new business owner, they start to see a little bit of money and they immediately want to just do a bunch of dumb shit. And I'm just not with it. Why? Because I always know, I've been doing this long enough to know the reaper is right around the corner. No. So, my mindset when it comes to business, I haven't met too many people that I know, and I'm not, saying I'm the smartest guy in the world. I'm just saying I haven't met anybody that I know. Most of the people that are around me, they come to me for business advice, right? So I'm a very disciplined person, just period, right? And I've had enough situations in business to know that that day is coming. I'm not gonna go out and do nothing stupid. One, I'm not new to money. I've been getting money, so I'm not I don't have that new money syndrome. I'm not gonna go out because okay, this is a new business, it's making money, and go blow the bag on some dumb shit. No, we're gonna we're gonna keep working and we're gonna let the bag build up because eventually something's gonna happen and it's gonna cost. And we need to make sure we are are have our liquidity in place so that we can take care of the problem, whatever it may be. So then people aren't uh disciplined. They're not willing to sacrifice. They're not willing to put in the time. They're not willing to go above and beyond. They letting other people influence them away from what the priority should be, right? And I just realized that I'm better off working alone. I'm better off working alone, bro. So would I do a solo venture? Always. Partnership is just not my thing. What's up, Mark? I just received the notification you was live. YouTube tripping. Oh, that's why everybody jumping. Yeah, YouTube been tripping on me for about a month now, man. They got me on punishment, man. I said some things last month um, that they didn't agree with. So some people told on me. They told on me. They tricked on Big Mark. You dig what I'm saying? Everybody that's writing these questions, bro, this is the call-in show. Kill them off. You got to click the link, man. Is that link pinned to the top of the chat? Does it? The link is pinned to the top of the chat. Jan Mar said the notification is delayed. Yeah, they tripping on me, man. What's my thing? Cars, clothes, jewelry, restaurant, all those things. But the older I get, not so much. So when I don't shop as much as I used to because my clubbing days are over. So I'm not in the club. You can't pay me to go to a club no more. Especially after like shit that happened the other day here. I'm clubbing days over. You catch me at like a lounge or a bar. And in my age category, I don't it's not like I don't I'm still gonna be dripped when you see me. You did what I'm saying, but I'm not in a spot 2-3 times out the week. So uh my thing, the older I get, is peace. Peace. You know? Quality of life is I've already built that. Comfortability and shit like that. So right now it's just peace. So I don't really have a thing. Dining, I do that whenever, So I walk to restaurants. Put myself in a space where all the restaurants I can walk to. Or I'll take a short little Uber ride. So I'll eat at a decent restaurant where a person might eat for dinner. I might sit there at the bar and eat lunch. That ain't no big deal for me. Right now it's just peace. You know. So yeah, they tripping on my notifications. I don't know why, but hey, it is what it is. I didn't get to see the live where you went for 7 hours. I only got to watch. Yeah, so I put it on members only, and then ultimately I took it down. I'm gonna cut it up and I'm gonna re-release it. Um, it was just a lot of negative energy on that live stream. You got some people that just really they just think they can control my channel when to certain things, certain people. If they don't like them, they feel like they can come and just disrupt things. And I realized that I'm not going to allow those people to do that any longer. I'm not even going to engage in them with them anymore. Some people that just I don't know, bro. Like some people just be tweaking. So you really didn't miss nothing. I'm just going to cut out the part which I was going to do over the weekend, but I just been really really busy this weekend, enjoying the holiday and family and friends and shit like that. That I This is my first time in here since that live stream. I haven't been in here since that stream. So I'm gonna cut the part out that's worth cutting out, and then I'm gonna put it back up. Uh, yeah, everybody saying they got the notification an hour late. Yeah, yeah, it's fucked up. But all right, call in show. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. We waiting on CO to call. I don't. He said he's gonna call in a minute. Is this CO? Yeah, got an update. Say he's gonna call in a minute. Maybe I should have just waited to 7 o'clock, like I started to. But shit, when I start at 7, I'll be on here till 11 o'clock, bro. I can't. No, that shit. Mm-mm. I was bored earlier because our streets was blocked because of NASCAR. So, uh, waiting on CO to call in and tell me what he want to talk about. Mr. Free Bands, Free Band Gang, Free Band Gang, Free Band Gang. You come on with it, Charlie. Let's get the show on the road. Yo,
Yo. There you go, connect the mark. What up, brother?
what's going on, man? How you feeling?
I got an update for you, man. You know we got free bands on deck. Took me a minute to get on this Airbnb popping for Essence, man.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know
I
nothing
had to
about no
let some
free
guests.
bands, but
I
I don't know
had
nothing
to let
about
some
no free
guests out,
bands.
man. But I
Okay.
wanted to give you an update where I'm at with the van. You know, I told you I was coming out there to get the box truck from Richard Brothers.
Yep.
So we got the van rolling, man. Fell into a contract from the load board actually through Trident
Mhm.
Logistics,
Mhm.
and we have a dedicated route running from the port of New Orleans to Houston, dropping off hazardous material. So we got the van rolling. That's doing good right now. And I
You say you
just
dropping off hazardous material?
yeah, like oil and stuff from like the refineries and stuff on the port.
What's the weight?
Chemicals,
What's the
it
weight
varies. It's
average?
different. It varies. 4,500 pounds, 6,000, 7,000. It varies. But it's nothing nothing too heavy, nothing too much. Be
You
like little
you ain't got
barrels, little
you got
huh?
an endorse? You got don't you got to have an endorsement for that for a van?
Yeah, has the yeah. And the crazy thing, it was kind of crazy how it fell in my lap because I have hazardous endorsement on my CDL, but I thought that was all you needed. But your company actually have to be hazardous certified through the PHMB. I think that's how you PHMSA. I think that's what it is.
What about your driver? Because you said your mom was driving the van. Your sister.
Yeah.
Do
So
they
she
have that
she she have
endorsement?
a class B too.
She got that endorsement.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She have a class B because she was a chauffeur driver at one point. So she just had to take the test and get the endorsement on
Wait,
the
wait, wait, wait,
license.
wait, 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 wait. You can get a hazmat endorsement with a class B? I
Yeah.
thought you had to have a class A to have a hazmat.
Nah, you only need class A for trailer with axles and multiple trailers like the. But you could get your tankers and your hazardous with a class B.
Okay, I'm gonna take your word for it. I'm gonna research it though. I
I
thought
could
you had
show
to
you
have a
if you want.
class
If
A.
if, if you want to see my license is class B.
I said I'm gonna take your word for it.
But yeah, man, it's rolling good. But I did have a question for you, man. Cause like I told you, I got the box truck also. Contacted AIT and RX, so they gave me the run around with the workers' comp insurance at first.
Mm-hmm.
That was like nobody wanted the right workers' comp policy for 3PL, home delivery, final mile work. So they sent me through the ringer like the past 2-3 weeks, and they have a few opportunities down here. They already confirmed it, everything, rates, everything. They just waiting on me to but I had to go and get accidental. What it is, occupational
Occupation
accidental insurance.
accidental insurance. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the way around getting around the workers' comp or whatever. So I got that in line. I should be wrapping that up tomorrow, Monday. I paid and signed off on all the paperwork, so I should have that rolling with the box truck with the final mile and all
Who
that.
will do the work? Who will do the work
Me and my stepdad.
for what? RXO.
Yeah.
Mm. What they gonna have y'all doing? Lowe's.
From what they're telling me right now, is mostly fitness equipment.
Mm.
Mostly fitness equipment, but they have a lot of work between them and AIT, and they have a couple other local companies also. It's so many. It's so many down here, which I wasn't expecting for them to be. Have so many opportunities down here because we don't really have nothing going on in New Orleans like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like mattress companies, everything, man. But
Man, you ready for that, dog? You said you free bands, man. That fitness equipment ain't no joke. It's
man,
a lot of heavy
I come from
lifting,
the
bro.
rail, Mark. It ain't nothing harder than rail work, man. I come from throwing cross ties and rail technician. I'm moving heavy steel. There ain't nothing to me.
Okay. All right.
In the heat, on rocks on the river, So
You
that's
made it seem like you was all about the free bands, like you weren't really out here, getting your hands dirty with no work.
nah. I told you, man. I left the free bands alone. 2007, 2008. I still dib and dab
Oh,
on some insurance ventures, but that's it. But
oh,
I
okay.
ain't I ain't into no car cracking or nothing like that no more.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, sound like you got some shit going for you, man. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, man. I be like I said, I be quiet most of the time, but I be watching your show, listening, and you know, going back to all your old videos so I don't have to keep asking no questions or whatever, but just figuring it out, due diligence and researching. Any pointers you got for as final mile go once, do's and don'ts?
Do's and don'ts with Final Mile. Um,
Yeah.
hmm, Nobody never asked me that. Shit. If you want to, here's how I would do it. I'm not doing Final Mile unless I'm scaling.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go in there. I I would work it myself, which you say you plan to do at least for a good 6 months to a year. I would learn
Mm-hmm.
it inside and out, and then I would start. Uh, that way when you do decide to scale, because I know you probably gonna scale because you've already scaled, you can be able to train the people that are coming in, because with Final Mile, you gotta understand it's a lot of claims associated with that. Right? The claims will fuck you up. You're going into people's homes, so it ain't like OTR where you just worried about the freight. You got to worry about the goods and the home, right? So,
The floors,
uh,
the floors and shit, walls.
your phone breaking up. Floors, walls, carpet, railings, banisters, doors, all that. You could literally
I don't know
damage
what's
the.
going on, Mo. I think my hold up.
You could literally. Yo,
Yeah,
yeah, you got
I don't know what's going on. It still sound choppy to you on your end?
sound a little choppy, like staticky. Mm, let me see. I guess he gonna call back. Let's see if he call back. Let's see if he call back. I don't know. He sounded like he was in the Matrix or something. Let's see if he called back. Signal bad mark. Too many people in town for Essence Fest. What Essence Fest got to do with the signal? what? What Essence Fest got to? Essence Fest ain't got nothing to do with the signal.
Damn, I don't know what's going on. Let me see if I move to a different part of the house, man. I don't know what's going on.
Check, check. Oh, I hear. I hear myself in your background. You got you got two phones or something going on?
Nah, I ain't got nothing around. I done walked to the whole front of the house. It sounds like it's not breaking up no more.
What about now?
I'll probably just call back on the next show because there's so
What
many
about now?
people in
All right, there you
town. I
go. There
guess
you
the
go. There you
towers
go. There you go. There.
is still static. I don't know what's up.
Nah, that town people ain't got nothing to do it. We got NASCAR in town, and I'm right by it, so they ain't got nothing.
It might be on your end.
You. It ain't on my end. This 2025. I live in a city with 3 million people. Like what the Essence Fest got to do with anything? We got NASCAR going on literally
Nah,
right now, and I'm right by it. Literally, we got a bunch of people in town too. That ain't got nothing to do with
yeah,
that.
I know usually when Mardi Gras come, our whole signal shut down. We can't even make phone calls at times. So you know, it sounds like it cleared up.
yeah, it cleared up. Yeah, it's chilling. That might be them people, bro. They might be tapping in. It might be them people, man.
I'm long
Yeah.
gone out the game, big boy. I'm out
No, they might
clean,
be
brother.
They might be tapping me. They might be tapping me. Yeah,
But
man.
yeah, man.
Yeah, but man, nah, it sounds like you got some good shit going on, man. That's cool.
Yeah, I even told one of my homeboys, about Richard Brothers or whatever. He went because I talked to the man, I recorded it on my recorder or whatever the conversation, and I was asking them if they had opportunity, and it was like actually in New Orleans, have a lot of people who they'll contact them, but they wouldn't go through with the paperwork or have all their paperwork together, their business in order. So he like his opportunity for multiple trucks. So I had my one of my homeboys. He went and got him a truck from Richard Brothers. He just won one for 2022 Freightliner for I think 23,000
Who was your homeboy?
or whatever. So he picking that up.
What's your homeboy
Yeah,
name?
Jews.
You from New Orleans?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I thought it was somebody else. All right. That's what's up, bro.
yeah.
How'd the
So it's
truck
like
drive back?
it's
You
a
drove it all the way back? You drove it all the way back?
yeah, I drove back. It drove good, man. I had one issue. When I got the truck, the company who had it before me, they had a password on the engine, and what happened was the batteries was dead when I got it. So as soon as I pull off the lot, it started going. I wasn't able to go over 5 miles per hour, but they had a mechanic shop like close by. They helped me out real good, man. Dudes like like
Here
came
in
through and
Chicago.
clutch. They
In
ain't charge,
Chicago.
huh?
What was the name of the shop? What was the name of the
Yeah.
shop?
I can't think of the shop off the top of my head, man. But they like right around the corner from Richard Brothers in Chicago. They like, man, them dudes 100, bro. They like stood there, helped me figure the shit out with they ain't charged me nothing or nothing, man. They reset the computer, ran the region systems, everything, got me straight to where I could get home with it. Deleted the code. And that's another thing. If dudes out there with trucks, man, keep a diagnostic computer in your car, something to delete them codes, man, in case you get in a jam where you stuck out, and you can override those codes, where you don't have to do tow truck and get you where you need to be. That's like a major help right there. But the only problem I had with the truck, I had to get 4 new tires, and I did maintenance on it a full PM, and the mechanics was like, man, we was trying to find some more shit to charge you, but we couldn't find it. It was like, you got you a good truck,
So
2015 Freightliner. So it's everything rolling good so far. It's pushing 100.
push 100,000 miles.
Or the truck total have 190,000 miles on it. When I bought it, 2015, 190,000.
That's what's up.
But yeah, man, Richard Brothers like that's like clutch, man. And for all those people out there renting trucks, they might as well go get a truck from Richard Brothers and finance.
Mm.
And the deal they give you is so cool, because I was about to buy the truck cash money, and they called me, talked me out of
How much was the
buying the
truck?
truck cash money.
How much was the
The
truck?
truck I wanted for 15.5. I wanted for 15.5. With fees, it came up to
15,000.
18.5.
You were supposed to buy
Yeah.
that cash. You let them talk
No,
you out of that
listen.
shit.
I was about to buy cash money, and they called me. I was like, well, what's my interest rate? And at the end of the term, what's my full? Because that was my whole thing. I'm like, what's my full payout at the end of the term? It just was 24,000. That was a giveaway. I was like, oh man, I'm about to free band. I'm gonna use y'all money. I'm gonna
That ain't no
leverage
free
y'all shit.
bands. That ain't no free bands, bro.
No, I'm just
That,
saying, that extra what, 67,000. I'm like, oh man, I get to keep
man,
my money in my pocket.
you supposed to pay that outright, bro. You came
But
up
this
here
is I'm
last
gonna
time
tell
talking about all this Bitcoin shit. That 18,000 ain't, that's show paper. That's show paper. You see that shit would have worked with somebody else. You can't say all this Airbnb. You done showed us the G63. You done showed us the M6. Was the M6 or M760? Was it M6 or
Nah,
M760?
M6, M6. It was
Okay.
M6,
You
and
done
the G
showed
it
us
was
that
it was it was GT63.
the G what?
It was the GT63, not the
The G.
G63.
Okay, so the GT63. So your muffler's coming out the
GT63.
side. Your muffler's coming out the side, right? See,
Yeah.
your muffler's coming out the side. So you can't talk about the GT63 and then talk about some financing for $6,000, pimp. You supposed to drop the
I mean,
18
you
and
their
get on
money,
up
Mark.
out the
That's
way.
all. I knew. I'd rather tie their bread up. I said I could go do
Man,
some. I could go do some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it worked out good, man. And like they even give you 2 months. Your payment is only $200 for 2 months, because they let you get everything situated and straight. And shit, the payment on the truck ain't nothing but $700 a month. So it was like a frisbee, man. It was a free L ball. I was like, man. But I'm kind of mad. I didn't buy it straight cash, and I did finance it, because I could have sold that same truck for 30 something thousand right back
you
on
should
Facebook Market. So I'm
you
kind of
should have
pissed
bought
off.
it.
I
You
did
should
finance.
have bought it cash, bro.
I should have. I should have.
If
I should
somebody
have. I
calling
regret it now,
you,
but
listen to this, bro. Let's think about this like a business person. You go in there with the intentions to buy cash money, and they call you and say, no, let us finance it for you. Think about it. Let us finance it for you. Because it benefits them more to make that extra six up out you over a period of
oh
time,
yeah.
and they hoping you don't pay for it. They hoping you can't pay for it, because whatever they make, they gonna come take it back. We know that ain't gonna happen, But bro, like I'm not finna. If you coming to me with cash, I'm taking the cash, pimp. You dig what I'm saying?
I know.
It's more beneficial for them. So that's when you should have really
House
been like,
always win.
oh no, yeah, the house gonna win, man. That's 6,000. You talking about you could do
Uh-oh.
something with this 18? Nah, you could do something with that 6. See, you looking at it wrong. See now, if because I talked to you before, I know you. I can look at you. I can listen how you talk. You a money getter. 18,000 ain't nothing for you. If you didn't have the 18,000, then that's a different ball game. 18,000, bro, is a drop in the bucket. You saying you could do something with that 18? No, that 18 is what the truck costs. You can't do nothing with that 18. That's what you're paying for the truck. You could do something with that 6 though. The 6 is the money that you didn't have to spend. 18 was going to get spent regardless, pimp.
I ain't gonna lie. I regretted asking
what we talking about?
from a perspective of flipping it though. I was like, man, if I could win a couple of these bitches and get on this Facebook market, I could have a little thing on.
Yeah, you know,
But
a break job for that GT63 about 4-5 grand.
huh?
A break job for the
What you say? A break?
GT63 about 4 grand.
Yeah, damn. Earl changed about
Okay,
25, 3,000
so that
when you go
6,000,
get it in service.
that 6,000 that you gonna spend with them, that's 4 of that 6,000 could have went on a break
Think the phone freezing
job.
up more?
No, it ain't freezing up. It ain't freezing up. Yeah, yeah. You
I
all
don't know what's
you
going
always
on
got.
with the signal, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Y'all out there by them alligators and shit, man. I don't know. That water and shit out there, bro. Yeah. So,
Nah, we ain't got no alligators in New Orleans, man.
hey man,
That's out the
I
bite.
I went to New Orleans one time, man. My girl, she said she don't want to never go back no more. I really enjoy it, bro. I mean, it's a nice place, but I don't know. Maybe I didn't have to. Maybe I should have had a guide or some shit like that. But it's just, it's just
Yeah,
different
like
out there,
if you
bro.
come to New Orleans, man, as far as food, everything, you got to get with a real somebody who in the city. You can't go to the tourist spots, Moreau's, well, all the Breakfast Club and everybody go down, come down here to run like a place like Larry Moreau's and be like, man, y'all got to go in. People who cook at, they go to like real tourist places and think they're gonna get New Orleans food. That's not New Orleans food. That's straight that's straight watered down restaurant shipped to, you know.
Uh-huh. Hold on a second. Let me see
And
something.
it's still tripping.
I muted myself. You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hold on a second.
Oh man, you too hating on your mother.
No, it can't be me. What about now?
I can hear you. It just got a little glitch. It's like a little static. It's a little static.
I ain't changed no setting. Oh, you know what? I did an update. Hold on. I did an update. Maybe it's. I'll see if somebody else call up and it ain't no static. Then they'll let me know it was you, not me. But anyway,
Yeah.
they say I sound far away.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I have to keep, huh?
What about now? Do I sound far away to you? Or I sound normal?
Sound a little bit. It sounds like you went in a box a little bit. Like the quality of your mic changed.
What about now? I ain't did nothing. What about now?
Nah, it's good. It Sound good. It sounds like you're a little far away though, but it's cool. I can hear you.
Yeah, I did an update, man. I don't know. I gotta. But yeah, man. Sound like everything working out for you.
Yeah, man, it's going cool. You know, I'm gonna have to check tap back in once I start the final mile or whatever. But yeah, I like how you said with the the liabilities in final mile going into people home. And I watched one of your other videos. You know, you was talking about it a little bit about going into high clients.
Check. Yeah, that's on his side.
And you gotta watch out for shit like that because if you damage anything, that's a claim.
Yeah. So claims is gonna be your biggest thing. It's on your side too, cause when I mute you, I'm talking now. I got you muted. Ain't no static. So, but claims is gonna be your biggest thing. So you just have to make sure that when you hire people, you're really, really careful. Which is gonna come with training. Which is I was saying you need to go out there at least 6 months to a year, so that you can know how
Mm.
to maneuver shit. You know the right equipment that you need to buy to carry stuff and to protect stuff. Um, and things of that nature. So when you do start hiring people, you know how to train them and hold them accountable. Um, if they go out there and damage some shit. Uh, because if you're doing like Lowe's, a lot of those appliances can be really, really expensive. You got $4,000 and $5,000 refrigerators, $3,000 and $4,000 washers and dryers. You see what I'm saying? And if you once you put the shit on your truck, it's on you. You see what I'm saying? So the moment it goes on your truck, it's on you. So whatever happens in transport or whatever happens while you're trying to get something into the place, it's on you. You come to my doorstep with my $4,000-$5,000 refrigerator and it got a little ding on it. I'm refusing it. The moment I refuse it, somebody got to pay for it. It ain't gonna be me. They're just gonna send somebody else out with another one, right? So that's gonna be a dispute between you and the 3PL, but the 3PL ultimately gonna put it on you because you signed off for it. If it made it to the customer's house, that means you okayed at the 3PL that everything was fine when you did your walk around. So it's also gonna fall on you, and then God forbid if you damage the property and the goods trying to get something in. So it's something that you really need to know what you're doing, right? And you need to train and you need to have your paperwork in order so that when you do start to hire and you train them the correct way, if they do things your way, uh, then there shouldn't be any issues. But when people go and they make mistakes by doing things on their own and taking shortcuts, you have to have your paperwork ready so that you can start, deducting that money out their paycheck. Because if you pay for the claims that are going to be coming through, it could ultimately affect your business in the long run. So,
Yeah.
I paid a lot of claims in my day. You know what I'm saying?
On average, what you think you did probably per month? How many claims you probably had
It
filed on you?
wasn't per month. No, it wasn't to that magnitude. You have
Oh, all right. So,
a few claims a season. So it's 4 quarters out the year, you might have a couple claims a quarter.
mm,
So,
on your biggest claim payout, what you think? What you think was your biggest?
55 grand, but I had to file that. That was the only claim I filed, and I got dropped because of 55 grand.
God damn, what you moving for 55 grand?
I didn't move nothing. They didn't even. It wasn't even a goddamn it. It wasn't even a the motherfucker wasn't paying attention. The dock. It was one of those docks that was just low. It was a low dock. It wasn't meant for trucks. It was like 12 something. He just wasn't paying attention. It was signs that said that trucks do not back into the dock. Dock. I don't even know why it had a dock, but he pulled up. He saw it was a dock, and he wasn't aware. It wasn't paying attention to the signage that was up there. Truck was 13.2. He backed into that whole dock awning down. So you back into the dock, and then there's an awning above it. So when he backed in, he hit it, and then motherfucker just came down. 55 grand. So they called the 3PL, and then the 3PL called my office, and I Chris Alvarez, motherfucker called
he was mad. He was mad. I had to tell him like, dude, who are you talking to? Okay, if it happened, we got insurance. Like you calling, you yelling, that ain't gonna fix it. It happened.
Right,
We're
that's what we got
insured.
insurance.
Right, like man, slow your roll. Who you talking to before we have to take a ride out there and come see you? You know what I'm saying? And but he was yelling because this is how these 3PLs used to talk to the ICs. They just talk to him any type of way. I'm not no IC. You see what I'm saying? You can't talk to me like that. And I had to tell him, man, lower your tone. He was like really yelling and threats because clearly they called him furious, and I understand why. But you know, I had to file on insurance. It's $55,000. So everything else out of my whole career, I paid out of pocket.
Yeah.
So whether it was a claim with a 3PL, whether it was the floor, walls, a lot of patch and paint. You know, when I could take money from employees, I did. A lot of times I didn't because they couldn't afford it. Some of the claims, like that $55,000 claim, I couldn't take it. I had a guy who, this wasn't even a claim. I had a guy get stuck in the snow 2 days in a row at the same delivery. So the first day you would think he had learned. So on his route, the very next day, this is in 2015, we had literally just had a blizzard a week prior, so it's still a lot of snow. For some reason, he decides to make a turn in the grass. The grass ain't plowed. You got the pavement in the parking lot, and then you got all this grass. I don't know what made him go in the grass. The first day, fine, I had to call a tow truck to come winch him out. This very next day, the same stop, because he got a route, right? The very next day, he does the same shit. So I'm like, dude, are you fucking with me, dude? Like, is this, like, there's no way you could just be this stupid, right? So I just fired him because I had to call the same company to winch him out the next day. And then the truck that they sent to winch him out the next day, that truck got stuck in the snow too. So they had to call another tow truck to winch both of them out. It was just cluster. I fired him. He didn't have much to take because I was paying like $500 each occurrence to get winched. His check wasn't $1,000. And it was the beginning of the pay period. So I didn't have much to take. So I just gave him the little money that he made, and I just had to eat that. So you're going to have losses all around the board. It don't necessarily have to be with the property or the goods. You got motherfucker tearing an awning down. I got motherfucker getting stuck in the snow consecutively. I've had other situations where I've had trucks stuck in the snow. You're going to have accidents. You're going to have all type of shit, bro. You know, when you're doing final mile and, you know, moving shit like that, when you're going into the customer's homes, it just presents more opportunities for claims, bro. And it's inevitable. It's going to happen. It's not me being negative. Anybody that's in here that's in moving and final mile tell you, you can't avoid it. Eventually something's going to happen. Even with you out there learning the business, you're going to tear something up, bro. You might slip. You might miss a step. You know what I'm saying? Even if you miss a step and you drop something, that's still on you. Shit happens, bro. So you just have to be prepared for it. You have to make sure your war chest is ready for shit like that. Your war chest is your money. It happens, bro.
Yeah. Liability and everything, huh?
You said what?
I guess it's just like that's the game, that's business, liability and everything.
Yep. So, but it is. Why did I say mic check? Hold on.
You got it hooked to a preamp, or it's directly to the computer.
It's directly through the box is over there. I don't know what that box is. What about now? Check.
Yeah,
Did it switch?
it's still static. It might be my phone static before I got on.
What about now?
You back perfect now.
All right, so the mic should be better.
Yeah, it's way better.
All right, so the mic is better.
It's still static.
The static is coming from your end because I'm gonna mute you. So when I mute you, there's no static. So the static is coming from your end. Now I
But
unmuted you.
even when you mute me, I still hear you static.
Well, they said I'm perfect. You back, Mark. The static is coming from the guest. Yeah, the static got coming from you. Yeah, the static got to be coming from you.
I'm gonna hang up.
Man, I know you got another phone, man. You gotta have two phones. You got 4 businesses.
I ain't like Kevin Gates, man. I ain't got 2 phones.
So you running the Airbnb, the Turo business, and the trucking business off one phone?
One phone, man.
How old are you again?
I do mostly email. I don't really deal with the phone like talking about it with most of my businesses. I like paper trail. I like to go back and show you what you said to the client and what I said, so there's no misunderstanding. So
Yeah,
I'm
you gotta
more
get
of
you a
a
second phone, bro. You gotta get you a second phone. You got too many businesses to run everything through the main line. That's how you miss money. You get this phone, this the bat phone. When the bat phone ring, that phone only about money. If that phone ain't ringing if it ain't about money.
this
The
phone only about
the,
money.
the personal you gotta have a personal phone too. You gotta have a phone that mama could reach you. You know what I'm saying? Your girl could reach you. Because here's the thing. I'm gonna give you a little game, OG game. If I'm on the line talking about money, I don't care who calling. I'm not switching. I'm not clicking over. If it's another phone that's personal line, I can see who calling. I'm gonna pay attention to that phone, and I'll take the time, right, if warranted, to see who's calling and answer that personal phone, right? Depending on who's calling. If it's like my mom or some shit like that, then I'm gonna answer it. I'm gonna see, what's up? Is it important? Can I call you right back? I'm taking care of some business. If it's important, then I'll listen. But if everything calling from one line, shit can get cross-wired. Meaning like your Turo business could be jugging, your Airbnb business could be jugging, like it's Essence Fest right now. So both of them business probably jugging. Then you got drivers trying to call you too, because shit, they just scratch somebody's floor or some shit like that. You see what I'm saying? So how you gonna handle that when all them calls calling in at one time on one line?
Yeah. And mostly my Airbnb, I
I'm
got
asking
a
you the
property,
question.
man.
I'm asking you, how you gonna do that?
It's only really one like far as my businesses go, my phone don't ring for Airbnb, wedding, or Turo like that.
I
They
forgot
don't
about the wedding
really call.
business. You got the photography thing too. You jugging
Huh?
all that off one phone?
Yeah, like my wedding business, I hear from my clients for the initial consultation when they book the wedding. Then I wouldn't hear from them till like the week of the wedding to get a itinerary of the timeline and stuff like that. But as far as most of my business is email, and like Airbnb, I have like a emergency contact and line, which is my property manager. So they pretty much handle all that. So it's never like my phone ringing for problems from the businesses or anybody trying to contact me.
What about the Turo business? Like somebody run out of gas or some shit like that.
Yeah, they run out of gas. That's really on them. They gotta call the insurance with Turo and handle that.
So you just gonna leave your car stranded in the middle of the damn highway?
No. I'm not gonna leave my car stranded, but that's up to them to handle their business to get the car to where it need to be. Now, if something come back wrong, then I file me a claim with Turo and reimburse me. So my hopes when I have a guest, Turo or Airbnb, my hopes is for something to go wrong.
Why you want something to go wrong? So you can file a claim?
File a claim. But that goes back to, and it's kind of crazy I say that because I wouldn't want that happening to me with the final mile. But that's only if somebody, if they mess up and they're at fault, then yeah, it's like, come on, man, you can't be doing stupid shit. You can't just be, running, like who runs out of gas is an adult.
I had a buddy rented a this was some years ago. He rented he rented a Tesla. This had to be about 5, 6 years ago down in Houston, and
He let the battery die.
he ran out of charge. Yeah, yeah. Uh,
See what I'm
yeah.
saying?
It
Man,
happens.
when I rented Teslas, every time I went to Los Angeles, I rented a Tesla. I never let that thing drop below 20%, man. I see 20, I get nervous. We gonna sit at the charger for an hour. It's
Hmm.
just, as an adult, I just feel like certain shit should be common sense. Like, I'm not playing with gas. I'm not playing with fuel at all. I'm not about to be stranded nowhere.
Hmm.
So that's just adult common sense that I figure. You know what I'm saying? But if they do run out of gas, they have what is called? My mind went blank. What we get with the roadside assistance?
Hmm.
With the insurance they pay for, they have roadside assistance. So they
Okay.
they handle and take care of pretty much everything. The only thing they'll contact me if they have an accident, but that's real rare. I had one accident and they actually totaled the car, and that worked out good because I made the money off the car on total
What kind of
and they
car
paid
was
me
it?
out. It was a Ford Fusion I had on there.
Oh, okay.
T-bone,
Ain't
they
bad.
tore it up. So
That's
they
good
paid
stuff.
me out actual cash value, and I made the money renting it out. So it was a win-win.
All right. So them claims, man, you just have to worry about them claims, man. But it's just a part of the game. They gonna come, so you just have to be ready for them. But you can prevent them by training. But
Yeah,
you prevent them by training to bring them down, right? But they gonna happen, bro. Like it's gonna be you gonna make mistakes, bro. So the floor is
yeah,
probably
I know it.
the biggest one. Patch and paint ain't no big deal. Patch and paint, that's
Mm-hmm.
simple. That's cheap. Floor is your biggest, obviously the goods, right? But as far as property is concerned, a floor is your biggest fear. Like a floor, I got PTSD about floors, bro.
Yeah,
No bullshit.
floors like
Floors and bed bugs. I've never had them, but seeing them,
mm-hmm.
being in the industry, is what makes me never want them. I don't have guests. Like I don't do like get-togethers at my crib. None of that shit, bro. I don't want nobody coming in this motherfucker, bro. I swear to God.
I don't want nobody coming in this motherfucker.
Because you don't know who they be having coming in their crib. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So I've been in the moving industry in the final mile industry. I've gone into people's homes and I've seen them. I've
yeah,
talked to people that have had them. I
and that's
talked to
crazy. I
some.
never saw one in my life.
Okay, well, Chicago is number 1 for them. I think Houston is number 2, right? So being
Mm.
in a city that has the highest count every single year, and being in the 2 industries where I've had to go in people's homes, and I've seen them,
Mm-hmm.
and I've had to walk away from money, and I've had to training for bed bugs as far as uh to see them was part of my
So when you
training.
see them, you refuse the job, you walk away from it,
Yes.
and
So part of my training was to look for bed bugs. The first thing you do when you go in the house, you look in the seams of the mattress because people just get to grabbing boxes, right? And then when they get to the bedrooms, they already got the truck loaded. No, the first thing you do when you go to the walkthrough, look at the mattresses,
there
look
we
in the
go.
seams.
That's a that's a
Don't
that's a
put
that's a
shit
gym
on
right
my
there. See, I,
shit,
I didn't know that.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So so seeing them, understanding that I live in a city and I'm in a business where people's shit is coming on the trucks, you don't want the shit on the truck. Out of all my years, I never had a bed bug issue because I trained how to look for them. And when you see them, call into the office, refuse, walk away, don't even say nothing to the customer. Don't say shit. Just get in the truck and go. And if they say something, tell them to call the
Mm-hmm.
office. We'll deal with it. And then I'll explain. Make sure you take the pictures. You know, no, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so floors, obviously PTSD because that's where your most expensive claims gonna come from, and bed bugs.
Yeah, I had somebody tell my floors of Lowe's. One of my tenants units, they had the stackable washing machine and dryer,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people don't know. when the washing machines are leaking, so all that humidity and moisture under
Mm-hmm.
the shit tearing your floors up, and it starts to stick to the machines. So when they went to move the old machines out the way to replace them,
Mm-hmm.
the shit stuck to the machines, and it pulled all my fucking laminate floors up.
Mm.
Tore damn near half of the kitchen up. So I had to. I didn't file a claim with that though because it was, that was on my tennis washer with the water leaking, but the laminate floor is actually stuck to the machine. So when he pulled it back, the shit was peeling the top off the laminate. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping there's no issues. Well, try to get it at least. Like I said, I'm gonna be on the truck because I don't want. Eventually, I plan to put people in the truck, but I won't get dirty first to learn the ins and outs in order to properly train. If I was to scale up and start adding people on, where I actually know what I'm talking about, and could how you could do with your employees and stuff. You've been there. They can't bullshit you. I tell you, you've been in the trenches.
Yeah, you're gonna need to be on that for at least 6 months to a year, bro, because you need to see every single as many case studies as you can. So as far as the products and the products as far as different settings that you're gonna go in. So I don't live in New Orleans, so I don't know, you know, like the the uh the architecture of the houses down there. Like here we got bungalows, we got Georgians, we got ranches,
Yeah.
Georgians, as far as houses is concerned, then you got 2 flats, 3 flats, 4 flats, you got elevator building. So, getting,
Mm-hmm.
you know, this LG refrigerator in a bungalow home is different from getting in a ranch. A ranch, there's no stairs. A bungalow, there's 8 stairs, you know, coming up the front. Then you got a foyer if you go to the front. If you go through the kitchen, it's probably a back porch you got to go up. Then you got to go, you know, then into the kitchen. Versus a ranch, you can just go straight in with no stairs. Versus a Georgian, versus a 2 flat, you might have to go up 2 flats, two flights of stairs, and it's gonna curve. So you need to know um, the differences of products, and you need to get experience with different products in different settings, so that what equipment to use for certain situations versus what not to use, and what to do in certain situations versus what not to do, so that you know how to train the people once you do start hiring. Same thing for washers and dryers. Like I've seen people with detachable, stackable washer and dryer. The guy didn't even detach it, and they strapped it, and the damn dryer slid off. Shit like that. Being able to train on, what stackable washer and dryer is detachable versus what's not. You see what I'm saying? So when not to use an appliance dolly. I've seen people use appliance dollies to go upstairs, wood stairs. I've seen people on YouTube use appliance dollies wheeling that shit through the house. They don't care about the people's floor. They said it, They said
That
they
should
didn't
have
care
chipped the
about their
floor, huh?
back. Right, but in business, the sacrifice is you. You can't. They hired you to do something that. So when a person hires you to move them, or if a person hires you to, they go to Best Buy or Home Depot and they buy a refrigerator, they hired you and they paid the delivery fee because they didn't want to do it themselves. Moving to Final Mile Delivery, you could do it yourself. You go to Home Depot, they have a distribution center where you can literally go to will call wherever that Home Depot distribution center is. You go rent a truck and you go pick your own refrigerator up and take it home yourself. But most people don't want to do it because they don't have the equipment, the tools, the know-how to get that shit in and out. Right. So that's why they hired you. So you have to make sure that you're protecting the good as well as their home, and all that sacrifices on you as far as the lifting, your muscles, the wear and tear on your body, as far as the right equipment, so that you don't put yourself in a situation where you got to get a claim. So shoulder straps versus a appliance dolly versus
Yeah.
versus a hump strap. You see what I'm saying? So versus when to take the door off versus when not to take the door off, or being
I
able
was
to
just about to ask you,
eyeball,
you recommend
being able
taking
to
the doors off,
eyeball.
or you don't do that?
But in most cases, you're gonna have to take the doors off. So, well, at least here, see, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what the architecture of the homes are. Like y'all probably what they build homes with down there, like frame. Y'all got a lot of not styrofoam.
Yeah,
What's that? Stucco.
we have most. Like it really like I had restaurant refrigerators in my Airbnb, so I know they had to take the doors, which I had wide doors, but the refrigerators was bigger than normal.
Right.
So um they had to remove the doors. They had to
Right.
remove my house door and the door off the
Right.
refrigerator.
So you gonna have to remove the doors time to time, depending on what the entrance is, and some door removals are more difficult. There's an LG refrigerator with the brain is on top, and I used to hate that refrigerator because the brain was on top and it had a water line, and it was just a difficult um it was just a difficult door removal. And then you got to put that shit back on. You got to put the doors back on the home. So even with taking the doors off, that's a more opportunity to get a claim. When you taking the doors off a person's home, the more you touch, the longer you're in there, the more opportunity is for a claim. You see what I'm saying? So it's a high risk, but that's why the reward is higher. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
Versus like doing something where you just driving from dot to dot. You know what I'm saying? The potential for a claim is higher. The more shit you touch, the longer you in there, the more something can go wrong. So, but them floors
Yeah.
is them floors. It's like, because if you do a scratch on the floor, the whole floor got to get redone. Any issue with a floor, the whole floor got to get. Nobody is gonna want this part looking newer than the
Right.
other
The
2,000
mismatch.
square feet, right? So whenever there's a floor issue, the whole floor got to get redone. And that's what's just going that's just so one little scratch. That's the look, I'm terrible. Like I got PTSD with floors. I'm finna get my floors redone. I'm finna get my floors redone. I just floors and bed bugs. Like I don't like. I got PTSD, bro. I spent a lot of money on floors, bro.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things
I don't like scratches on floors, bro. Like if I go into your home, like it's just something in me, bro. I'm looking at the floors, bro. Like,
and that's the thing with New Orleans. A lot of these homes are historic, so they have oak, cherry wood. They have real wood floors. It's not like the newer homes are laminate and vinyl and shit like that. But our historic, we mostly have historic homes because it was a lot of slave homes.
right,
But those are real fucking wooden floors, and just
right.
like you say, you mess
So
them up.
yeah, you mess them up, and the darker the wood, the worse it is. Like you can't the darker the wood, the scratch shows up. It just shows up more prevalent. Yeah, you can't you can't finesse your way up out of it, bro. Like lighter stained floors, the customer might not see that shit while you there. You might not even see it shit while you there. The lighter wood floors, you seem to get those calls a few days later. The darker wood floors, they notice that shit right then or the very next day because it's just so obvious. Like, yeah, floors is just, yeah, I just, yeah, floors, bro, floors is, yeah.
And another thing, you worked with AIT and RXO, right? Before?
I worked with Select Express before they were acquired by AIT. I never worked with AIT. I worked with a company called
Oh, all
Select
right.
Express, which AIT acquired them a few years ago. So all the Bye Bye Baby stuff and shit like that, I did it, but I did it through Select, not AIT. So I guess you can say a division of them, yeah. So like all the Crate and Barrel, Bye Bye Baby Container Store, West Elm, Cost World Market, Home Goods, all that shit. We were doing CB2.
Oh Lord,
Yeah,
the
we did
down,
all
Mark.
that.
I'm 1%. I'm 1% in, Mark.
You said what?
Phone about to die. I'm on 1%. I'm gonna
All
probably
right.
have to catch you on the
Yeah.
next one
Tap
or
in with me on
whatever.
the
But I
next one.
appreciate you, big brother.
All right, bro. Be safe. All right.